Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Los Angeles Lakers 117-95. Great win for the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 1, steal Game 1. A game I think a lot of people thought the Lakers would go and get. And an amazing win. It's a great shooting night for this Minnesota team, knocking down 21 threes, shooting 50% from three. Anthony Edwards had 4. Randall had 4, and McDaniels was 3 for 3. Naz Reid shot lights out, 6 for 9 from 3 off the bench. And this Lakers team had their own struggles from 3 to 9. Well, they weren't struggles, but they are struggles compared to this Timberwolves team. 15 for 41 from 3 for the Lakers. Luka was spectacular. 40 minutes, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. 2 steals. I don't think you really look at Luka's performance tonight and really say that was a bad game. Or look, LeBron, I think you probably would have liked for LeBron James to have been better in this game today. 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 for 18, 1 for 5 from 3. Austin Reeves, 5 for 13, 3 for 8 from 3, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for Reeves. I mean, he didn't look terrible in this game either. Jackson Hayes only played 8 minutes, only scored 1 point. Dorian Finney-Smith played a lot. He played 33 minutes. I think you look at Dorian Finney-Smith and Briat Jamora, 2 guys. Rui shot 3 for 9. Finney-Smith shot 1 for 5. And the Lakers just needed to shoot the ball a lot better in this game tonight. I mean, the Timberwolves made 11 more shots than them, and so I mean, It's hard. Like, the Lakers did such a terrible job of not scoring the basketball in this game today, but there weren't a lot of guys for this Lakers team that were like shooting bad. Like, Luka shot 12 for 22. LeBron shot close to 50%. Reeves, I guess, from 3 he shot close to 50%. 5 for 13 is not great, but it's not terrible. I guess you can look at Rui Hachimura and say 3 for 9, not very good from him tonight, and then Dorian Finney-Smith as well. But this was just a tough game for the Lakers, and I think this was more of the Minnesota Timberwolves going out there tonight and just going out there and setting the tone early, and not only that, but just playing better than them tonight. And I think this is going to be an interesting series. I know a lot of people kind of underestimated this Minnesota Timberwolves team. I don't know. I think that they've got a shot in this series. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think they've got a shot, though. This is the one thing I will say, though, and we'll see what happens in Game 2 when we see Game 2. I believe Game 2 is Tuesday, if I'm correct. If Minnesota wins Game 2, and I'm going to go ahead and say this before I say this, I think the Lakers win Game 2. I think the Lakers bounce back and tie this series up 1-1 and win Game 2. So before I say this, I'm just making it clear I think the Lakers bounce back and win Game 2. But if not, and Minnesota wins Game 2 and takes a 2-0 lead, I think the Lakers season might be over. I know it's a little too early in the series to be talking about that, but I think it needs to be talked about how much of a crucial Game 2 is for this Los Angeles Lakers team, because you cannot go to Minnesota down 0-2. That is not something you can afford. Honestly, I don't see Minnesota losing both games in Minnesota. Now look, I said the same thing last year with the Denver Nuggets. Last year, Minnesota went into Denver in the semifinals, won both games in Denver, and I thought Denver was screwed because I didn't think Minnesota would lose Game 3 or Game 4. Well, I could see them losing one, but I didn't see Minnesota, taking both losing both games at home. And Denver won both Game 3 and Game 4. Now, Minnesota ended up winning that series anyways in 7 games, but so I was wrong last year when I predicted that Minnesota would be fine in that Denver's. Obviously they ended up winning the series, but I didn't think there would be a Game 7 because I thought Minnesota would be up 3-1 and not lose a game in Minnesota in the Game 3, Game 4. So but I just don't see Minnesota losing Game 3 or Game 4. That's why I think the Lakers can go out there and win a game in Minnesota. But the whole key thing I think is that if the Lakers can go out there, win game 2, and then these two teams split in Minnesota, potentially then you're going back to LA for a game 5, and I think the momentum would 100% be for the Los Angeles Lakers if there is a game 5 and the series is tied at 2. But let's just say Minnesota's able to take that game 2, and then they're going back home. It doesn't look good to win both games in Minnesota. But I don't think you have to worry about that because I think the Lakers are going to be able to come out there, I believe it is Tuesday night, and get a win over this Minnesota team in game 2. But honestly, this Minnesota team should not, they should not be underestimated. This is a Lakers team that doesn't have a lot of size. Jackson Hayes did not play a lot tonight. He's their starting center, and he didn't play a lot tonight. He must have. I didn't watch a lot of the first half. He must have got injured. I didn't hear anything while watching the game about a Jackson Hayes injury. If I had to bet on anything, I would say Dorian Finney-Smith. I watched the entire second half, so I would just assume that Dorian Finney-Smith just getting more minutes because that is the player that the Lakers would rather give minutes to. This Lakers team does not have great size. Jackson Hayes is their starting center, and you got LeBron at the 4, Rui at the 4, and LeBron at the 3. You've got some tall players, but compared to this Minnesota team that has in their starting lineup Gobert, Randall, McDaniels, off the bench they have Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think that size-wise, the Lakers are killed in this series, but I still think they'll be able to probably still win this series. I think that. I think they'll still be in. I still think they'll end up being fine. I think that I would still say the Lakers are still going to win this series. I was someone that said a lot of people were saying Lakers are winning in 5 and Minnesota doesn't stand a chance. I was saying this is probably a 6 or 7 game series, and that's what it could end up becoming. We'll see. I think that all depends on how the Los Angeles Lakers bounce back. You never know. They could, turn a switch and just completely start killing Minnesota. But if Minnesota shoots the ball like this, they are dangerous. Like they did tonight. If they continue to shoot the ball like this, they are dangerous. Let's go over some stats. I did, talk a little about the 3-pointers of how, the 3-point mix for Minnesota. Their leading scorer was McDaniels at 25 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 3 for 3 from the floor. He only missed 2 shots. Those are 2-pointers, 11 for 13, 16 for Randall, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I think you got to be proud of the way Randall played out there today. There's been talks about playoff struggles before. I think 16, 5, and 5, shooting 6 for 11, 4 for 6 from 3. Great shooting performance from him. I would say the only thing that would be bad for Julius Randle in this game, which is absolutely terrible. There was no one who was worse with this in the game out of both teams, was his turnovers. 7 turnovers. The Timberwolves as a team had 10 tonight. The Lakers as a team had 13 turnovers. So he had more than half the turnovers the Lakers team had. And then he had 70% of his team's turnovers. So that was a real problem for Julius Randle in this game. But we're just talking about shooting performance because there's been shooting problems for Randle in the postseason before. With his shooting tonight, his 3-point shooting, his just shooting and scoring. Not a bad night for Randle. Especially when you're playing next to guys like Naz Reid and Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels with the nights they had tonight. Because McDaniels had 25, Edwards had 22, 8 and 9. Naz Reid had 23, 5. 9 for DiVincenzo, 5 rebounds, 7 for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Mike Conley had 9 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 for 5, 22 minutes. It's just a good night for this Minnesota team. And we'll see how they can go out there and perform in Game 2, which is on Tuesday. Let me know your thoughts on this Game 1 performance for the Lakers in the comment section, and peace out.